Hey y'all, it's Sam from Sam's Cookie Company. I just wanted to do a cute little tutorial on Fusion 360 about doing a sketch. Hopefully we're going to be doing more of these. I know a lot of people are curious about building a cookie cutter, so I wanted to start from the beginning in Fusion 360 and show you how I do it. First, what I did was I went to Creative Market and I found a cute little segment of sketches and clip art and graphics that I just loved. I fell in love with this little bunny rabbit right here. I decided he would look really great as a cookie cutter, so I went ahead and purchased the commercial license for it. You want to make sure that you do that anytime you're building cookie cutters or anything that you're going to be selling to the public. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my sketch. So Fusion 360 is basically in millimeters, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change that to inches because that's what I use for my cookie cutters. It's what I'm used to. So here's where I change it. I'm going to change to inch and then hit OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert my canvas. This is where I'm going to put the clip art image of my bunny rabbit. I'm going to go ahead and click on the bottom plane, and then I'm going to hit enter, and there you see my bunny rabbit. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and now we're going to calibrate our image by right clicking right underneath our Easter clip art, hitting calibrate, and then I'm going to click on the bottom of the bunny rabbit, which is going to be the bottom of my cookie cutter, and I'm going to hit the top of his little ear, which is going to be the top of my cookie cutter. Once I click there, I'm going to hit 4 inches. That's about what I like to have for my cookie cutters, right around there. And he's pretty tall and skinny, so I think 4 inches is going to be good. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now it's going to be really big. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so I can see the whole thing. And now we're ready to go ahead and start our sketch. So now I'm going to go ahead and start a new sketch. Here, if you hover over, it says Create Sketch. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And now I'm going to click on that bottom plane again. And there is my bunny rabbit. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see all of him. And I just want to explain a couple things. What we're going to do is we're going to create this sketch in segments. I like to start at a point, and then I use all of the curves until I get to another sharp point, and then I go on to my next segment until I hit another sharp point, and then basically one more sharp point, and then I'm going to close my sketch. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how I sketch. So there are two different tools that I use. The first one is called a Fit Point Spline, and I'm going to show you how that one works. Basically, I'm going to be clicking on the edge of the bunny rabbit. I hit the green check mark when I'm done. I'm going to hit select so I can start messing with my line. I'm going to hit the dot, and I'm going to pull it out and in, and you can sort of adjust it to get it just right. The other thing you can do is when you click that dot again, you've got these green tangents. And if I adjust those, sometimes you can get it just right. But if I had many more points on here, things can get a little wonky pretty quick. So the other tool I like to use is called the Control Point Spline. I have mine on my toolbar right now. If you wanted to put it on the toolbar, you would just go to Create, go down to Spline, and then Control Point Spline, hit the 3 dots, go ahead and check it to Pinned Toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one now so you can see the difference. I've clicked on it. In this situation, I'm going to go ahead and start by clicking on the edge. Then I'm going to go pretty much outside a little bit. I'm going to check the green check mark. I'm going to hit select so I can start adjusting. Then this little guy right here is a control point. I can sort of get him just right. So I feel like the Control Point Spline is a little bit more forgiving than the fit point spline. You might find that a little bit harder to use, but pick whichever one makes most sense for you. So let's get rid of those and go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. And now I'm going to go ahead and get started. As I mentioned before, I'm going to go from a sharp point all the way to the sharp point on the inside of the ears. I've got to zoom in just a little bit to do that. I'm a little bit slower when I'm teaching, so let's go ahead and hit the control point spline and get started. I'm going to start right in that little corner. I'm going to sort of hit outside, outside, outside. And remember, we're going to be adjusting it along the way. I want to go ahead and point out that I went to the inside because I have an interior curve. That's going to help us adjust even more. And then I went back outside, outside, outside. I'm going to go inside, then outside again. I'm going to go outside, outside. And you might notice I'm not going directly on the edge here. That's because we're going to be able to adjust everything like I did a little earlier. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop right there. Hit the check mark. And then we'll move on to the next segment. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on our second segment. You see the little green box? That's kind of showing us that we're going to start on exactly the point that we ended. We want to make sure this is a closed sketch for our cookie cutter. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start again. I'm going to click. Anytime you have sort of a straight run, you're going to have less points. But as I come into this curve, I'm going to have a lot more points here because I'm curving a lot more. And then once again, once I get on a straight, I'll have less points. Here on this edge right here, we're going to go ahead and make it just a little bit bigger so we can see. And then I'm going to click once just on the outside of that curve. I'm going to go way inside, and then I'm going to go back towards the outside again. Then I'm clicking outside, outside, outside. Again, I'm going to get close to this curve, then I'm going to go inside, and then I'm going to go back outside again. Outside, 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 inside. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. Okay, so let's continue on with our bunny tail. I'm going to make sure I have the little green box. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go outside, 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 outside. And I'm going to go ahead and stop on the tail, and then we'll do the next segment. And we're almost done. So the green square again is going to start where we left off. I'm going to click there. I'm going to go outside, outside, outside. And I want to make sure that I click on the very last green square so it snaps completely shut. Then I'm going to hit my green check mark. And now I'm going to hit select. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so we can see the whole thing. And then we will start adjusting all of our points to be just right. So now we're just going to start toggling all of these control points to get the shape that we want. And it doesn't have to be exactly like the clip art. It just needs to kind of come close. If you're worried about any sort of sharp areas where you might have maybe dough might get stuck in your cookie cutter, you could always adjust that to make it just a little bit larger if you needed to. But as you can see, this is pretty quick. It's pretty easy, and you just sort of keep going and going and going. And like I said, it does not have to be perfect. You might be a little bit slower in the beginning. I've been doing this for a minute, so I get faster and faster every time. And you can sort of see, whenever we had a curve, we had more points. Our straights were sort of perfect because they didn't have too many points. But anytime you have a curve, you're going to have more. Sometimes the computer's got to catch up with us. So just sort of keep adjusting those points till it seems just right. I just think this Easter Bunny is so cute. Trying to think of exactly how I'm going to decorate him, and quite honestly, I think you could do anything and it would look great. He's so fun. And we're almost done with this guy. And you'll get the hang of it. Sometimes you'll realize maybe it's easier for you to have more points so that you can adjust. But there we have our completely closed bunny rabbit. We're going to go ahead and hit Finish Sketch. We're going to hit the little house so you can sort of see it. And he looks pretty good. So now that we finished our sketch, that was kind of the hardest part of this whole process. I think we're going to go ahead and save this because you don't want to lose that. I'm going to hit save, and I'm just going to call him Rabbit. I think I have a few bunnies in my system. So I'm going to hit save. Now we're going to use Sam's cookie cutter tool. I'm going to go ahead and select. Then I'm going to hit my little gingerbread man that has Sam's cookie cutter maker. This is with the Bella profile. So I'm going to click on that. And I already selected my bunny rabbit. He's right there. I don't really need to change anything. I'm going to go ahead and check mark launch 3D print because I actually do need this cookie cutter pretty quick. And I'm going to hit OK. And there's our cookie cutter. He's so cute. I cannot wait to use him. I'm sure my orders are going to be just pouring in because he's just so adorable. So now we've got our 3D print window. I'm going to go ahead and select my bunny rabbit. Usually takes a quick second. And then I'm going to hit OK, and Kira is going to go ahead and come up, and it's going to get our geocode sort of ready to go. And then I can head over to my 3D printer. It usually takes just a few seconds, not long at all. And there's the cookie cutter. Oh my gosh, he's just so cute. So if you wanted to mirror, I would just hit that little mirror button, and you see the little red arrows. Then you can sort of decide, do you want him to face left or right? Remember, what you're looking at is the bottom of the cookie cutter, not the handle. So if you want him to face a specific direction, you need to go ahead and mirror him in whatever way. So now I'm going to hit slice, and it's just going to take a couple seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and save him. That's our entire print right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and save him, and I'm going to put him in my 3D printer, and we're off to the races. And here's our final cookie cutter. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about the profile that we have on it. And I just want you to know that we're going to be coming out with more videos, so make sure you stay on the lookout. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.